Most golfers stop their swing way too early. They hit at the ball instead of swinging through. In this video, I'm going to show you how to move through the shot with real flow and finish in perfect balance every single time. When you master this move, you won't just look like a pro, you'll strike it like one. Let's dive in. If you struggle with your follow through in your golf swing, the Ultimate Through Swing series is for you. In this 3-part series, I'm going to be talking about how your body works, how your arm swing works, and where the club should go in your through swing. I see it so often on the mat. I see stunted through swings where they're curtailed. I see golfers battling with balance, falling over, and all sorts of nonsense. Today, I want to talk about your body action and how we get it moving in balance with speed to create some really good ball striking. First up, we need to think about what the feet are doing in correlation to the upper body. Your foot pressures through the floor are ultimately going to allow the top of your body to create balance. And that balance is ultimately going to give you the speed that you're looking for to hit the ball further. Golfers in general are trying to balance up striking of the golf ball with the direction. Unfortunately, golfers will always sacrifice distance to get direction. And that's where through swings start to become really stunted, all in an effort to try and get that golf ball flying down the middle of the fairway. I didn't do too bad a job about that. Wow. If you have watched enough of my content, you will have seen me use some of these wedges. These wedges are absolutely crucial to giving you a really, really nice platform of feeling how you use your feet. Now, the sloping wedge here allows me to put pressure into the heel of the foot and the toe of the foot. So I'm going to start off with the wedge underneath my left foot. And the reason why I'm going to put it under my lead foot, left foot if you're a right-handed golfer, is because I really want you to sense how that left foot is working in your through swing. The left foot, the lead foot in your through swing, is the all-important foot that balances up your hip. If I put the wedge sloping away from the golf ball and I hit a golf shot, immediately what starts to happen, it starts to throw my hip action back towards my heel. What that begins to do is makes the lead shoulder start to sit down. So this lead shoulder starts to sit down more rather than rise up. Now, when the lead shoulder starts to sit down more, it frees your back up to rotate through. Now, if there is one thing that golfers are always working on, and it is early extension, trying to get themselves in more angle. Go check out this video up here if you want to know a little bit more about early extension. But reality is that the lead foot is the conduit to fixing your balance in your through swing. In your backswing, that lead foot must have pressure in it. That lead foot must have pressure in it when you start to pull the golf club down. The pressure is in the toe. Now, with the wedge being lifted up on the left foot, as you get to the top of the backswing, you can now feel like you're leaning in. As you then start to move the golf club down, you're looking to run the energy down towards the heel so that when you finish, that heel feels like it's taking the lion's share of the energy. So much so you can see the toe of my lead foot is off the floor. Now, if you've got the glute line sat back in your finish, your glute line sat back of your heel, what it will tend to do is pull this trail shoulder more towards the golf ball. So now the trail shoulder is pointed more towards the golf ball. If I was to push the skate, the wedge, the other way round, and as I swing through, the weight now pushes itself on the toe of the foot, what tends to happen is the hip, the lead hip, gets tucked under the golfer, and all of a sudden it reduces the amount of hip rotation and it starts to retract the amount I can turn with my upper body. And at that point, my arms are then fighting the cause. Energy's moving on the toe of the feet. Arms start to pull in because the body's going to slow down and be restricted. So I start to see this curtailed through swing. That can be easily remedied by getting the wedge and firing it around the other way. It will start to feel really strange to begin with. You'll feel super flat-footed, but the lead foot is the way in to making your body free itself up, because it will make you feel like your lead leg is going to get longer. And when your lead leg gets a little bit longer, it starts to push the hip up and away from the golf ball. That side bend then starts to take place. As soon as that side bend starts to take place, you'll feel that your arm track starts to go on a different direction. I'm going to talk about the arm track in the second part of this 3-part ultimate through swing series that's going to see you right. To start with, the wedge is crucial. That starts to get your lead side working in a better way. Now, in the backswing, we want to recognize the weight that goes through the right foot, the trail foot, to really help that lead leg work on the way through. So when you put the wedge sloping towards the golf ball, as you make a backswing, it really helps you feel like you can then get the energy driven into that lead leg. So now you know what the lead foot feels like it needs to do in your finish position. You're going to get your trail foot to feel like it helps you out. It starts to help you into the lead leg, into the toe, only for it to then start to go back into the heel. So what's happening underneath your upper body is it's starting to rotate more. But the pressures in the backswing go from being into the toe of the foot to the heel of the foot on the right side, on the trail side. So it goes from toe to heel in the trail foot, and in the backswing, it goes from heel to toe. Now, all of a sudden, when I start to pull that club down, I can feel how those pressures are working. It's going toe to heel. It's going heel to toe. Then, as I start to pull down, I've got the emphasis on those 2 pressure points, right heel, left heel, to now pull on the golf club and shift the forces back in the opposite direction. So once you start to shift the forces in the opposite direction, we start to open up. Not the best strike on that one. So we get this lower body behaving, which now starts to feel like the upper body can free itself up. So without the wedge, I want you to think about left foot in a few swings. So you're just going to focus on where the energy is moving. It's going to go heel to toe in your backswing, because we start slightly towards the heels of our feet. So on the lead side, it's going to go heel to toe, and then on the through swing, it's going to go toe to heel. Heel to toe, toe to heel. And as soon as you start to feel that, you'll really feel your hip action opening up more. Then once you've done that a few times, I then want you to do the trail foot. It's going to move more back into the heel. More back into the heel. And then you're going to drive that more towards the toe. Back into the heel of the trail foot, then back into the toe. So you really get the sensation of the feet being able to stabilize the pelvis. That stability in the pelvis starts to stabilize your upper body. And it's the upper body that's going to give us the opportunity to change the club track, the arm track on the way through, that's going to give us that balance and speed in that through swing. Because when we get that balance in that through swing, it really opens up some opportunity to great ball striking and plenty of speed. Now the wedges really facilitate that, and I can't recommend it enough. Getting yourself some of these wedges and popping it underneath your lead foot. Get the wedge sloping away from the ball, getting yourself set up. I'm going to run the energy up the wedge on the way back. I'm going to run the energy down the wedge on the way through. So that I really start to feel like my lead foot is really activated, really pulls me into the heels. on the way through. You'll notice as you do this more and more, that right shoulder, that trail shoulder, will really start to pull itself more towards the golf ball. Can you see that spine angle there? Can you see that shoulder pitch? Look how angular I am. And what that will magically do is start to take care of your arm track. But I'm going to talk about that arm track in part 2 of the ultimate through swing guide that's right here for you on Good Golf Coaching. So into the toe, put the pressure down the slope, lengthen the leg, and it'll pull you inside bend. Let your arms fall out. Let them go wherever they want to go. And if you've got a good grip, you know I'm a grip pervert, go check out this video up here because that will see you right with a good grip too. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Part 2 and part 3 are coming up later on this week. Are you tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves? Head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves tried and trusted by elite amateurs and tour players alike. Enter my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. It's going to be a really good series that's going to finish off that golf swing like never before. Thank you so much for watching. You guessed it. This is Good Coaching.